Hello, welcome to the Horus Heresy. I'm your host, Rob. Today we're going to be talking about challenges. Sir, madam, whoever is watching this video, I challenge thee to a duel. A duel. Now, when this first came out about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whenever it came out, this had me so pumped. So incredibly pumped. This is my everything. And this, I expect also for this to either be brilliant on the tabletop or a disaster, and one unit always wins the challenges, whatever. But as a concept, this, you can expand this out to crazy amounts, and I can't wait to talk about it. Okay, so challenges. Up until now, challenges, these confrontations weren't really replicable on the tabletop. Sure, the Primarchs have impressive stats and loads of special rules, but while they could certainly knock lumps out of one another, they hadn't been dueling until now. The new challenge subphase. Now, that's a crazy statement. Just to be very clear, that's a crazy statement. Considering combat takes a lot of time anyway, and shooting and everything else happens, now the inside of combat, there's an entire new subphase with multiple steps, is insane. But also, in addition, it means you can do some, it's given me like kind of full tilt heresy. That's what it's given me, which is like a jousting game that you could play. Now we can get on the tabletop and we can just do challenges. In fact, we could just have small little events where everyone is just doing challenges all the time. You could do literally a kind of a Knight's Tale lists jousting kind of challenge subphase whole thing, which is amazing. But anyway, I digress. We'll carry on. So the new challenge subphase makes these into pivotal confrontations they should be. Broadly speaking, it works like this. This is an extra step in the assault phase. In your turn, you may issue one challenge per combat as long as a character is involved. Your opponent may then accept, in which case they nominate a champion, or they may refuse. If they do, one of their heroes sheepishly steps back from combat, and their cowardice is rewarded with a hefty penalty to their combat ability that turn. So challenges have kind of been like both a boon and a curse in the old world, which is another example of where it takes place. It's definitely not a sub-phase. It kind of is a semi-separate section of the combat, but this can either be like something dominates the combat phase, and we've just seen an FAQ change how the challenges work, in that you aren't going to get all of the damage from a combat from a character, especially a character on a dragon. So they've reduced it down so you don't quite get all of the damage from a unit now. So recognizing that my unit champion of Tech Thralls is never going to fight a Primarch, or is never going to win a combat versus Primarch, hopefully it doesn't really grossly affect the overall outcome, but we'll see. Maybe it's just a fun feature. So your opponent may then accept, or they can refuse, right? And sometimes you may want to refuse because it's an important character. So only models with a command or champion subtypes may issue and accept challenges. Champions are heroes whose main job is to take on these challenges, while command models also bring benefits to other units, like helping them pass advanced characteristic checks. Now, I love this because it adds a new unit role into your army. One of the things that you can do is you can design a champion saber fighter, and their job is to go around and fight all of the others. That's obviously really fun for both weapon kit bashing, armor kit bashing. Like building a specific character whose job it is to do that is awesome. If the active player declines to issue a challenge, their opponent may initiate a duel themselves via heroic intervention reaction. Okay, once the challenge is accepted, the two combatants are then separated from the wielder and they face off. Starting with the active player, both players choose a gambit for their champion. So starting with the active player, there are plenty to choose from, representing ways in which a warrior might approach the coming throwdown. There are 9 universal gambits, 9, which offer defensive and offensive boosts, as well as several that are unique to legions and characters. That's crazy. That really broadens out this thing. I was like, oh, there'll be a couple. 9 is a great start. Then legions having their own specific ones, characters having their own specific ones, is ace. And again, hopefully they sell these as cards. If not, we can just reproduce them as cards. The Emperor's Children are excellent single combatant, but the World Eaters are more about carving up not only your immediate opponent, but anyone foolishly standing around them. So these are some of the core gambits. These are 4 of the 5. So seize initiative. If this gambit is selected, then the controlling player may roll an additional dice in the focus step and discard the dice with the lowest result before determining the total. That's when you are going to try and get initiative. So flurry of blows, if this gambit is selected, then the model controlled by the player that selected this gambit gains a bonus of plus D3 to its current attacks characteristic, but any hits inflicted by these attacks have their damage characteristic set to 1, and this may not be modified by any special rule, including shred or critical hit. Now that's okay, because you might only have a damage 1 weapon, and so you're not too bothered, and getting the additional D3 extra attacks is really positive. Feign and Riposte, this gambit may only be selected by the player choosing the first gambit in the face-off step. Once selected, the player then selected this gambit may name any other gambit, including a faction-specific gambit the player does not have access to, and opposing player may not select that gambit in the face-off step. So you can just shut it down, right? Very cool. Very interesting. You go first. Oh, I challenge you. Oh, you accept? Feign or Riposte. Oh. It's so Battle Barbies. It's so like, I want this. I want Duels. This is the bit that's got me really probably the most pumped out of everything I've seen so far. I love this concept that I'm getting, and I could be doing this in multiple phases. It's going to take forever. I need you to know, right? And we're going to need to create a flow chart as well, because I'm assuming there isn't going to be a flow chart inside the book. So create a flow chart so people can understand how to do it better. But it's very cool. The last one, Finishing Blow. If this gambit is selected, then the controlling player must roll an additional dice in the focus step and discard the dice with the highest result. So you're going to go last. However, a model for which Finishing Blow gambit has been selected gains a bonus of +1 strength and damage characteristic to all of its hits in the strike step. Now, Horus Heresy, you also don't roll tons of dice necessarily. Sometimes it'll be like 4 or 5. And sure, if you're using a Primarch, maybe you'll be hitting on 2s. But you can flub a bunch of rolls. That's a very achievable thing. Happens in the old world all the time. Instead, both players roll a dice. And also, like, I love the idea of like a unit champion facing off against, like a unit sergeant, sorry, facing off against another legion's champion and somehow winning the combat. And then you're like, no, that's it. I'm upgrading him to a champion, whatever it might be. Both players roll a dice. Instead, both players roll a dice, adding their initiative and any modifiers from gambits. Oh, sorry. Once your gambit is selected, you make a focus roll. This is the order of striking is usually decided by initiative. It's a significant advantage, not so in a challenge, which is good because it means you don't bring your very high initiative profile to the combat. So both players roll dice, adding their initiative and any modifiers from gambits, war gear, special rules, or the support of nearby troops. There are penalties if your character is wounded or wearing especially heavy armor, and the winner gets the roll an extra attack and strike first, so Duelist Edge. A weapon with the Duelist Edge special rule grants a bonus to the focus rolls in challenges, so who goes first? In step 3 of the challenge subphase, which is a hilarious thing to say, that there is a step 3 in the challenge subphase of just normal combats, is an insane thing to put into a game. But I love that it's there. Like, that's what I want to play this game for. I want to be like, okay, like the first time I throw down for a challenge, I will be giddy. Absolutely giddy. I might even like practice challenges like just out of a main combat. Like, and also this is really fun if you want to do like Zone Mortalis, or if you want to do like a game like that where it's like, you know, you've got these corridors and they battle against each other. Super fun. Okay. In step 3 of the challenge subphase, the focus step, if a player has declared the model under the control, will use a weapon with a Duelist Edge special rule or has the Duelist Edge special rule, then that player gains a bonus equal to the value of X on the focus roll. So going first. Certain weapons are better in a challenge than others. Anything that increases your initiative is very useful, such as a power lance. Oh, yes. My box of power lances is working. Perfect. While weapons with a Duelist Edge special rule add the value of X to roll. The Chernobyl blade, definitely said that wrong. Sorry, Chernobyl sabre. Chernobyl sabre is a, I think it's French, is a consummate duelist weapon offering the effective +2 to the roll with the bonus to initiative and Duelist Edge 1. It's less lethal than a power blade, however, so you will likely strike first, but you might not pierce armor as effectively. Well, now, as we know how AP works, this has got AP dash. It's a little bit of a shame that we aren't using like other versions of AP where it's AP2 against 3-up save would be a 5-up save. But they've obviously thought about this, so there we go. The Black Sword of Sigismund is a prime example of exquisite artificer weaponry, boasting Duelist Edge 2, +2 to initiative roll, alongside a profile to make an opponent worried. So it's going to be +2 to your strength modifier. It's going to be AP2, so it's going to chop through Terminator armor. It's damage 1. It's got Duelist Edge 2, and it's got critical hits 6 as well. Perhaps a standout dueling weapon in the game, I love that they've brought this up, is the White Tiger Dao, wielded by Jagati Khan. This lightning blade increases. The lightning blade increases as already impressive initiative to 9, high even the Fulgrim, and with Duelist Edge to boost, he's almost always guaranteed to land the first blow. Is breaching? It has breaching, so it's going to be okay. All right, good. I'm just learning what the stuff does as we go. So the White Tiger Dao, number 1. One of the best Primarch sculpts. Hands down. Take my hands and I'll put them down because that's one of the best Primarch sculpts ever. Now this bad boy might be in a combat. We love that. Initiative +2. It's AP 2. It's damage 2. And it's got its Duelist Edge. And it's got Impact AM. There's a fair more amount of nuance and flavor in these rules, making them great for an epic narrative moment with tactical combat choices. These duels are worth enjoying, and they're fought out several rounds until one party is dead or manages to withdraw. Probably have to do like a characteristic check to be able to withdraw from these. So incredible stuff, in my personal opinion. Like, I'm so excited about learning what all the weapons do. And also it gives more breadth to what weapons could be, right? You could end up with a weapon and its job is to be a duelist. Like, that's what the weapon's job is, like the Chernobyl Sabre. Like, and if you don't end up in a duel, it still will do some okay like damage or do some fighting. But it really opens it up. Like, sure, I'm going to take a power fist because I want to punch a vehicle to pieces. But I actually want to take a sword now because I want to end up in a duel. Also, special characters, their jobs are only to do duels. That's great. I love that. I think that's very fun. Also, add in things like maybe assassins and what their job is. Sure, like an assassin might be really good in that role as well. But can you protect it from getting shot? There's so much there's so much breadth to how this game works, which I think is really, really cool. And this is my favorite part so far. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.